Hello everybody, I am Fuzzy Face. Welcome back to this Motorsport Manager career. We've got round 12, the Russian Grand Prix at the Black Sea circuit coming up today. We are back with this Williams career, the resurrection of Williams. We had a really good race last time out. If we head on over to here, we were in Singapore. It turned out that it was going to rain really late on during the race. We managed to stretch our first set of soft tyres out a very long way, get into the pits, do just one pit stop onto the intermediate tyre to finish the race on. Worked out really well for us, a really good strategy call. Esteban Ocon up into 4th place. Sergei Sorokin, a really good finish from him as well. 6th place. That has put Sergei Sorokin up into 8th in the drivers' standings. We're currently 4th in the constructors. Esteban Ocon is in 5th place. But if we look at this fight for 3rd place in the driver's standings, we've got Magnussen on 110 in the Mercedes, Ricciardo on 109 in the Red Bull, Max Verstappen on 100 in the Red Bull, and then our guy Esteban Ocon on 108. Really close there. I don't think we're going to be able to get 3rd place. If we could do that, that would be absolutely amazing, but I'm guessing the Mercedes and Red Bull, and especially the Red Bull, they're going to have to start performing a little bit better as we move into the business end of the season. Now, as it is with the car, we're working on a gearbox at the moment. We've only got a few parts to go in the car that we're just sort of working on at the moment. We've got this engine that can go in the car once we get to Phoenix, which is in 2 races time after this one. So we've got this Black Sea Grand Prix, then we've got Japan, and then we can introduce our final round of upgrades into the car at Phoenix, that first of the 2 American Grand Prix. But the only part we've got is an engine to go in the car. We do have a brakes build done, which we see there, 925. It can get up to a 1091, so I'm hoping that goes a really long way into improving the woes that we've got with the brakes at the moment. We do have one of the worst brake sets in the game at the moment, 7th overall, as you can see. It's the only part that we currently have below average. But we're just working on the new parts that we've got in the car as well. That brakes build is there. That gearbox we're building as well is too risky to go in the car. This season we're sort of dropped what we're doing on the car this season. Now we're concentrating on everything on next season's car. We're also starting to think about drivers. As it is, I think I'm going to put a poll up which will go down below so everyone can sort of vote on who they would like to see as a driver to go alongside Esteban Ocon next season. The choices will be Valtteri Bottas, Carlos Sainz, Nico Hülkenberg, Roman Grosjean, Lando Norris, Nick De Vries, George Russell, and I think there's someone else that I'm forgetting here. Sergio Perez, did I mention him? And Sergio Perez. So there's 8 choices. I will put a poll down below in the comments and in the description. So if everyone can go ahead and vote on that if you want to, and it might influence my decision. I might go with whoever wins the poll. I do have 2 drivers in mind that I want to put in to that seat next season. I'm between the 2, but if someone else wins that poll pretty convincingly, we might go with them. As it is, we're still waiting for the HQ to have its upgrades built. 4 weeks for the R&D, 7 weeks for the handling facility. Our headquarters is currently 6 overall. If we look at Mercedes, their HQ is 5th overall. I don't know whether that's because the other teams have been upgrading their HQ or whether Mercedes started the game like that. But anyway, we're going to jump into this Russian Grand Prix. We're going to go with PNC. We sometimes do have a chance of finishing 3rd or above, so we could sometimes take away 250,000. Obviously, during qualifying, we've got no real chance of hitting that. And it says that including bonuses, a race loss of 361. Is that if we hit that level and pay out the bonuses? I think it is. We usually actually make money if we put Lance Stroll. We usually make about £500,000. But both guys are still happy with the car here, so we're going to jump in and we're going to skip over practice as we usually do, and we'll be back in a second to go through qualifying. So here we go with the first qualifying lap. Sorokin perfect on his tyre temps, his brakes overheated. The same for Esteban Ocon. We weren't the quickest in practice. This Russia track was a track I knew we were going to struggle at because I think the brakes and gearbox are crucial here, 2 of our worst parts in the car. Hopefully we're not that slow. 6 tenths down for Sergei after that first sector, half a second down for Esteban Ocon, so it looks like we are actually pretty slow here. Where are we going to go overall as we come across the line? Sergei slowest of the cars that have gone out so far. Where is Esteban Ocon going to go? Even slower than his teammate. Luckily we've got the Sauber of Ericsson and the Haas of Carlos Sainz behind us though. in the early going. We'll just see what everyone else does off that first lap to see where we are. We're currently 12th and 14th after the first lap. Hopefully we can improve on that once we do our second run in this qualifying session. So here we go with the second qualifying lap. Esteban Ocon is out first. His tyre temps perfect. Brake temps overheated. Sergei Sorokin's getting to run second out of our drivers just because he was quicker than his teammate the first time around. But we do have Charles Leclerc in our sights. Raikkonen, Hulkenberg, Grosjean, they might be a little bit too quick for us to sort of catch up with here. But hopefully Ocon does have more speed in this car. Hopefully Sorokin does as well. Ocon goes quicker in the first sector than the first time around, as does Sergei Sorokin. That's a really good first sector from Sergei Sorokin, and a second one. He's 2 tenths up on his teammate still here. He is in really good form at the moment, whether that's anything to do with his speed here. But Ocon moves up to 11th. Sorokin goes 8th. An absolutely wonderful performance for him. So, as I was on about the pole before this race, I might add Sergei Sorokin onto that pole as well, just to see whether we should stick around with Sergei Sorokin for next season. He's sort of getting there as in terms of his performance. Obviously, he doesn't have the massive upside. He can only get to 3.5 stars, but something to take into account here. But Vettel on pole. We won't pay attention to that. We'll go over the grid in just a second. Here we go with the grid for the 2019 Russian Grand Prix. For once in this game, I can't actually remember this happening. It probably has done, but we've got a front row lockout on the grid from the prancing horses. Sebastian Vettel and Valtteri Bottas performing for once here. He's usually a little bit further down the order. Then we have Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. Lewis Hamilton underperforming here. Will be starting on the soft tyres, as will Sebastian Vettel, but Hamilton quite a lot slower than his championship rival, although Lewis Hamilton has a massive lead in the Drivers' Championship at the moment. Then we've got Kevin Magnussen in the Mercedes, Danny Rick in the Red Bull, Nico Hulkenberg 7th in the Renault, and Sergei Sorokin on form here, as we see that 8th place for him, absolutely brilliant, up into the top 10. Felix Rosenqvist 9th place in the Renault, Stoffel Van Dorn in the McLaren, Roman Grosjean 11th, Esteban Ocon in 12th place. He will be starting on the medium. Since he's outside the top 10, we can give him whatever compound tyre we want. We're going to go for the hardest compound tyre with him. Running quite a way into the race, maybe lap 18 or so before we get him into the pits. It is a 38 lap race. Sergei Sorokin is starting on the softs. It's going to be a 2-stop for both guys, but we're just going to switch up in sort of what order they do the tyres in. They will be probably using the same tyres through the race, but just in a different order. Kimi Raikkonen is 13th in the McLaren. Charles Leclerc, is he still got a dodgy neck? He has it in that Sauber. Pierre Gasly, a dodgy neck for him as well in the Toro Rosso. Billy Johnson 16th, a little bit of an improvement for him. Nikita Mazepin 17th, 18th for Sergio Perez. Marcus Ericsson not in 20th here, 19th, and Carlos Sainz way off form, starting the race on a pair of used super tough tyres, all the way down in 20th place here. Don't know what happened to Carlos Sainz, considering his teammates in what? Where was Roman Grosjean? 11th. How much slower is he? It's 7 tenths down on his teammates. At Carlos Sainz with not a very good performance in qualifying there. But anyway, we're going to get into this race. As you can see with Esteban Ocon, he is under-fueled by 3 laps. This is a 38 lap race. We can recover that in 30 laps or maybe 28. So we're just under-fueled here because it is a long race. It should improve the car speed by about 6 tenths a lap. Obviously, it means we can't push for as long, but hopefully being under-fueled makes a little bit of a difference. Meanwhile, Sergei Sorokin's made a good start. He's challenging Felix Rosenqvist, who's made a good start as well, but he's held on to his 8th place as Sergei Sorokin. He's going to be going to about lap 10. Esteban Ocon's going to be going to about lap 18-ish, maybe a little bit longer on this medium tyre if he can do. We're going to keep the fuel in high mode for a little bit. We don't have to start recovering that fuel yet. Possibly around about the 3rd lap we'll have to go into medium for the rest of the race with Esteban Ocon, whereas Sergei Sorokin still battling away with Rosenqvist. I think we could get this position if we push the car all out, and obviously we need to defend from Kimi Raikkonen and Roman Grosjean behind us. If we can just push the car a little bit and get past Felix Rosenqvist, will put us in a good position, although it doesn't look like our car is strong enough to do that. Obviously our car not really the best around here, but Sergei Sorokin managed to get an amazing lap out of this car to get into 8th place. We can't keep running like this for too long in the reds, because it is going to wreck the car if we keep doing this, but we'll keep going. We're running push and high mode now down the straight. doesn't look like we're going to be able to get past Sergei Sorokin, although past Felix Rosenqvist. Although if we've got a little chance there, if we push the car a little bit more, we might be able to make this pass. So if we push, and we'll just keep pushing to make sure we stay ahead of Roman Grosjean, who's challenging as well, and maybe try turn down here a little bit now. Meanwhile, Ocon's still sort of stuck in this 13th place. Carlos Sainz has made a really good start on this super soft tyre. Obviously, he's going to pit really early. Maybe the Haasies are going to try a 3-stop strategy here. Obviously, on a pair of used super softs, I don't know whether it's going to work out for them, but we'll just have to wait and see there. Sergei Sorokin still in this 7th place. Ocon has moved up to 12th. He's managed to get past Daniel Ricciardo, is he? He's battling with Daniel Ricciardo. Let's push the tyres, make this move stick. And we're going to have to switch back to neutral as well if we really want to get to the point we want to. Daniel Ricciardo not on the best starts. The junior Red Bull team though, with Billy Johnson, he's made a really good start, got himself up to 11th place, whereas Pierre Gasly, he's down in 15th in the second Toro Rosso. So we're not doing too badly here in a race that I feared we might be a little bit slow at. Currently 7th and 12th, and yeah, I think it's just going pretty well here. Ocon doing a good job at the moment. He's just sort of hanging on to these positions. He's on the medium tyre. He doesn't really have much speed over the cars in front. Billy Johnson on that super soft. Kimi Räikkönen's on this medium though. So we might have the advantage with the pit stops here. Obviously, some other cars might be coming in to try and undercut us, but I'm guessing everyone who pits is going to start coming out on the mediums, as we see. Rosenqvist in the pits, we'll just see, yeah, he's coming out on the mediums, so they might not have the chance to push us too much. So we're still at the advantage at the moment, doing 121.2s. Obviously, the super softs are starting to wear, especially for Roman Grosjean at the moment. We should be able to hold on to this soft tyre until around lap 10. Ocon is doing a good job. Daniel Ricciardo's just about got past him. I don't want to push his tyres too much, but obviously we're going to have to heat him up as well though, and maybe just hold this position from Daniel Ricciardo. Danny Rick should have the speed in this Red Bull to beat us in a one-on-one race, but Ocon sort of gets it inside line, moves to the outside, won't get the outside, but then the inside on that chicane, keeps his 11th place, and Ricciardo under pressure now from Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz is going to make that pass now. I'm going to switch back to neutral a little bit, just keep these tyres above this little mark here. Might wear them out a little bit quicker than we wanted them to, but it's a price we've got to pay to try and push to that lap 18 that we want from Esteban Ocon. Verstappen needs to get out of my way. We're not really anywhere close to Max Verstappen that we could make a position stick here, and we're going to have to turn down with Esteban Ocon now. He's going to have to run in medium until the end of the race. We've moved on to lap 9. Sorokin is now currently up in 3rd place. Ocon is moving up the order as well, up into 6th place. That is because we've seen a lot of cars come into the pits. Some of the front runners, Bottas, who was on the front row of the grid, Verstappen's pitted, Billy Johnson's pitted. So we've moved up now. We're still just running our strategy. We're about the point where we wanted Sergei Sorokin to get into the pit, so we're just going to push the tyres a little bit. I wonder if we can get another lap out of these. If we start going quicker this sector, I might keep him out. We're half a second quicker than we were on the last lap, 26%. Would we be able to get round another lap? We're going to have to now. Maybe if we turn these down. We're not on the softest compound tyre. These can go to about 15-10%. So let's just see how quick we are on this lap with the tyres running in the red. We're still a ways off the pit stop for Ocon. And after the first sector here, we're slower, but we're still 1/10 up on the last lap. But we're going to line up our pit stop. It's going to be for this medium tyre. Should see us get through 16 laps, and then it looks like we're going to have to go on to another medium to finish the race on for Sergei Sorokin, who is... I changed the pit crew, but maybe I didn't know. But the risk is pretty much just coming from the Margot Clement, who's on fixing parts duty. So what sort of pit stop do we get here? So we're going to go medium. There's no to repair. A safe pit stop is 1.9 seconds. A balanced one is 1.6 seconds. So we might as well go safe here. 0.3 seconds is a lot better than losing 3 seconds due to a mistake. So we're going to get Sorokin this lap. Not much down on the last lap where we were pushing the tyre. So we're going to switch back to neutral. No, we're not. No, we'll come out in push mode for a little bit as well, because this medium tyre will have a little bit of life in it if we're going for, and we've had a mistake on the tyres as well anyway. But Sergei Sorokin gets back out into 15th. He's sort of in the middle of the pack of everyone that has pitted at the moment. We're just going to keep him pushing as it is at the moment. These tyres are a little bit underheated now with Esteban Ocon, but I do want him to get to around about lap 18. But try and get a little bit of heat back in these tyres, because it's possibly just hampering him a little bit. Meanwhile, Sorotkin's behind Hulkenberg and Verstappen. Ocon has dropped down to 4th place. Lewis Hamilton has passed him on a fresh pair of medium tyres, or got back out of the pits in front of him maybe. But we're sort of challenging Hamilton here since we're pushing tyres. What's Hamilton doing at the moment? He's in backup mode on these fresh tyres that he's got on the car at the moment. But we know we can get this tyre all the way to 0% before we need to pit. We sort of want to do that so we can maybe get onto a soft and then a super soft, or the super soft and then the soft. We would need 20 laps to do that. If we can see another 6 laps or so with this tyre, I don't think that's something we're going to be able to do, but if we can get somewhere near there, then we can sort of think about it, maybe finish the race strong on a pair of super softs. But the super softs, the softest compound, doesn't usually have too much of a bigger effect as the race goes on. Sometimes it seems to be that way. But anyway, Ocon we've currently used. Let's just see what the tyre wear is around this track. If we come around the lap, here we go across the line, 25% on the tyres. It will let us know whether we can go another 5 laps here. Hopefully it's somewhere around the 5% usage mark, so let's just speed up a little bit here. And Ocon coming around, looks to be just around about the 5%, so we're possibly going to get 4 laps out of this tyre rather than the 5 we want. Sorotkin's still in 13th place at the moment. He's still behind Hulkenberg. There's a big, massive bunch of cars in front, so we're going to get Sorotkin pushing a little bit here, see if we've got the speed to pass some of these cars. And we let Perez pass there as we're battling away with Hulkenberg. Just a massive pack of cars here that are all battling away. Are we quick enough to gain some places here? Sorotkin manages to get past Perez, so we're back into the place that we were. Can we make a run on Hulkenberg into this first corner? Trying to go for the outside line. Does Sorotkin runs a little bit wide around that corner but can't make it stick. It's who's in front of him? It's Max Verstappen in front. Looks like Sorotkin's going to get it, but he's stuck behind Max leading into this corner. Hulkenberg's going to be slowed down by Max there, and we get that place. We're going to have the run on Max Verstappen, it looks like, as well. Can we make that stick? No, it doesn't. We're going to keep going back to looking after these tyres now. And Ocon looks like he's got one more lap in him after this lap, so he's managed to get to the lap 18 that we said we wanted him to get to at the start of the race. He's going to come into the pits for this pair of soft tyres. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to go super soft, so it looks like we're going to go soft maybe. So we're going to get into this soft tyre. We'll go safe, and hopefully we're not going to have a mistake with the pit stop, which, if we didn't have that mistake, Sorotkin would currently be running 2 places higher with those 3 seconds that he lost. But as it is, he's doing a pretty decent job. We're going to have to start thinking about recovering this fuel as well, so maybe switch back to medium. I don't think we've got much room to be pushing here either as well. We're going to have to switch to low mode at some point with Esteban Ocon as well. He's going to dive into the pits this lap, pretty close on that medium tyre. And nice, oh, we've just got a safety car, although that's going to slow down a lot of the cars now, and it's sort of going to work out for Esteban Ocon here. He's going to get, oh, it's Sergei Sorotkin that's crashed as well. Sorotkin has crashed. He was running so well in this Grand Prix, but his crash is Esteban Ocon's. Just lucky there for Esteban Ocon. No, we don't want you to come in the pits. You've just made this pit stop, which might give him the room to get onto this super soft now, just holding off on this soft tyre, because he's not really going to use much of it behind the safety car. He would have been coming out behind possibly this pack of cars, but he's managed to get into the pits. He's on a fresh pair of soft tyres now to restart after the safety car. And as everyone was slowing down, Ocon was coming out of the pits as the safety car came out. He managed to get out into 4th place. Absolutely amazing. Just a shame for Sergei Sorotkin though. So we're about half a lap away from the safety car coming in. He's starting to pull away, so we're going to get back into attack mode. We don't have much room to push with the fuel. Ocon has moved up to 3rd place because Valtteri Bottas has made his 2nd and final pit stop of the race. We could have maybe gone to medium tyres, but obviously if you see my series before, we can't do that under our own rules. We do have to use at least 2 different tyre compounds during a race, and obviously we didn't know the safety car was coming out. But Ocon's going to get a run at Lewis Hamilton here into this first corner. Obviously the Mercedes are a lot quicker than us, but Ocon in the customer team manages to make that move on Lewis Hamilton. Is he going to be able to make it stick? It doesn't look like it, although we've got the pace coming out of that corner. Ocon moves himself up to 2nd place here. Absolutely amazing. We're just going to keep pushing on these tyres. We know we do have to make another pit stop before the end of the race. Hopefully it's going to be a soft at worst. Maybe we can get back on for another pair of super softs, but we know we've got one more pit stop to do. I'm not sure if the same can be said for Hamilton. They might be able to go, and Hamilton's dropped back there. Valtteri Bottas has got past him as well on this fresh pair of mediums. Obviously, we're not really fighting with Valtteri since he's going to the end of the race now. He's in a real good position to win this race, is Valtteri Bottas. One of the people that you can actually vote on because he is interested in joining our team. He's pretty unhappy with Ferrari, although with his performance today he might be a little bit happier. But Ocon still going pretty quick here. We might have to turn this tyre down, but we're catching up to Sebastian Vettel here. Sebastian Vettel running slow. Since we're pushing the tyre, we're going to have to sort of... Do we even have to? Do we have to turn down the tyre? We could possibly get another 5 laps out of this pushing the tyre, but it's going to cut it a little bit thin. So we're just going to run into high mode here. Quickest second sector of the Grand Prix, and Ocon sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix here. Running absolutely brilliantly, obviously. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. That is Daniel Ricciardo that has now crashed. And Max Verstappen, both Red Bulls out of this Grand Prix. Both of those crashing after the safety car, after Sergei Sorokin had crashed. So we're just currently running second here. If we can get this second place, it will be absolutely amazing. I think this could be Ocon's 5th podium finish. I think we're actually pulling away from Valtteri Bottas, but we know he doesn't have to pit again. Hamilton might have to pit again. We definitely do have to pit again, which is the problem here. And we do need to recover the fuel as well at some point. We're at 1.5 laps down. We've got 14 laps to do that with. We should be somewhere close. We might have to just run in low mode for 2 laps here. We kept it running in high mode just to keep this position. But as it is, we can just keep running like this. Second place for Esteban Ocon. Are we still pulling away from Valtteri Bottas behind us? Not really. He's starting to speed up now a little bit, it seems like, and it looks like Vettel's just gone quickest in this. Has he gone quickest? I didn't see the actual pop-up there, but he was quickest in the 2 last sectors as he starts to speed up his car here. But we've got... What have we got left coming up now? 13 laps remaining, so we can get in for this last pit stop at any point now, so we might as well go in attack mode and do maybe 2 or 3 laps in full-on attack mode. Try and open up enough of a gap as we can, because a lot of these might be going to the end of the race. 12 laps is a long time to go on a half-worn medium tyre, but it could be done if they wanted to. With a pit stop, we would come out in 9th place, it says. Seems a little bit too kind. 9th place to coming out after a pit stop. I think we would be a little bit lower than that if we did actually make a pit stop, but we've got a few cars that are going to be coming into the pits anyway. So maybe we've got one more lap in this car, 35%. We'll just see what a lap uses if full on overtake mode. Obviously we're going to start getting a little bit too hot. Uses... No, we're just going to be able to get around this one more lap here. So we can get into the pits for this soft tyre. We'll go safe, hopefully there's no mistake. We should come out, it says 5th place after this pit stop. Just see whether that is actually right, if we can get out in front of Pierre Gasly. Don't think that's right, because that's only 13 seconds. It's quite a long pit lane here, so whether we can get out into 5th place. And we've got a couple of cars in the pits as well. See Vettel pit, we've actually made a decent pit stop here. So we get back out into 8th place, so I knew that 5th place wasn't really right. We've got a little bit of room to push here, so we can get past these couple of slower cars. We get past Billy Johnson, we've got Nikita Mazepin in front of us. Can we get past him as well? We don't really want to push the fuel. We make easy work of that. So we're up into 8th place now. Perez has to pit. I'm guessing Pierre Gasly and Hamilton have to pit as well. Whether we can get back ahead of them and keep this 2nd place. Vettel has pitted. So it would be 3rd place for us because Bottas is running that medium tyre to the end of the race. We see cars starting to come into the pits. That's Sergio Perez that we just ran through there into the pits. We move up into 6th place now. Can Roman Grosjean and Rosenqvist get to the end of the Grand Prix on that medium tyre? I'm just going to hold back a little bit until we sort of get on the back of them and push at that point. We don't want to wear this tyre out and try to catch them up. We're going to catch them up at some point, and if we just hold back with the tyre, because we are running quicker than... Oh, we're not actually running quicker than them on that used medium tyre, although we should be after this lap. Let's just see what sort of lap time we do whilst holding in conserve mode, 1:19.1. So now if we get back up into neutral, we should start to lap a little bit quicker here. as we move into the business end of this Russian Grand Prix. Two Ferraris, first and second, they're going to be able to close this gap up. Quite a big gap they have to Mercedes, but they can close it up and make an interesting end to the season here. I'm guessing we're going to see these two pit at some point. This medium tyre is going to run out before the 6 laps are down. But let's run high mode for a little bit here. We don't have much room to do anything with the fuel, but we just need to clear these two cars before Lewis Hamilton starts getting on the back of us. If we can clear these two cars, let's run in attack mode, because Lewis Hamilton's coming up fast and furious behind us. We need to clear Rosenqvist as quick as we can. Otherwise, Hamilton's going to take advantage of this. He's going to take advantage of it, and he's going to get straight past Rosenqvist, it seems, although Ocon's battling back as Rosenqvist peels off into the pits. Hamilton will have the pace down the pit lane here, down the pit straight. He gets in front of us with no point fighting with him. We just want to make a move on Roman Grosjean, who will pit at some point, I'm hoping. Bottas has made a third pit stop. I thought he would get that medium tyre to the end of the race, obviously. That wasn't in his plan, so we could still be on for a podium finish here somehow if Roman Grosjean does indeed pit towards the end of this Grand Prix. But we're going to have to go low mode as well, so we're going to have to fall behind here a little bit. Valtteri's possibly got the chance of catching us. We're in a position that we're not really going to get to the end of the race unless we go in low mode with the fuel we've got in the car, but we do have room to push, it looks like, with the tyres. So if we get the tyres going, it might negate some of the detrimental effect that having the engine on low mode is doing to the car. So let's switch back to medium. Valtteri is right on the back of us here. Roman Grosjean still staying out. His medium tyres are going a long way here as Hamilton's struggling to get past him. Valtteri Bottas sets the fastest lap. We're going to lose our potential podium finish here. Valtteri gets the inside line. That much quicker Ferrari than us. We're no match for that Ferrari. And let's just switch back to medium here and hope that Roman comes into the pits. These cars in front, the lot quicker cars, have had some trouble getting past Roman Grosjean. He's had an absolutely amazing defensive drive. It does look like he's going to the end of the race as well. What are his tyres on at the moment? They are 24%, so he can run to the end of the Grand Prix, and we still do have some fuel recovery to do as well. What's he lapping at the moment? 119.7. We're not that much quicker. Although, if we get into... Oh, we've got the run on him here. If we got overtake mode, can we get that move made? Even though we're in low mode, let's switch back to medium quickly. Can we make it stick and then get back into low mode to recover this fuel? We do. We make it stick. 4th place is ours. Go back into push mode to hold on to this 4th place here. Absolutely amazing from Esteban Ocon. 4th place is safety car. Really had a... it just made his race, made our race. Well, obviously didn't make our race because we would have been scoring more points if Sergei had still been in the race, but as it is, we couldn't help that. Medium mode now for Esteban Ocon. He's going to be able to hold on to this 4th place now. Roman has taken that medium tyre a long way. Looked worn out pretty early on, but he's managed to hold on to it. It's possibly running in low mode, managed to hold up Hamilton. Valtteri Bottas made that 3rd pit stop when he could have got that medium tyre probably to the end of the race. It looks like the soft tyre is going on Sebastian Vettel's car, but he's too far ahead for Hamilton to close that gap. Hamilton, his tyre's going as well. Ocon's tyres are just about starting to go. Vettel crosses the line and wins the race. Hamilton is coming across the line in 2nd. Bottas is going to get 3rd, and then we're going to see Ocon cross the line in 4th. Roman Grosjean 5th in that Haas. Hulkenberg 6th in the Renault. Magnussen 7th in the Mercedes. Raikkonen 8th in the McLaren. Leclerc 9th in the Sauber, and Pierre Gasly rounding out the top 10 points for Toro Rosso for once. Obviously, they are possibly about 8 points down now on Sauber or maybe Renault, whoever else is running down the bottom of the grid. I think Renault have been improved this season, so it might even be Force India who have been struggling this season. We're just going to see if anyone's got any risky parts running in the car here. Doesn't look like it. So Esteban Ocon finishes 4th, 12 points for him. Absolutely amazing race. Puts him now 3rd in the driver's standings as he finished ahead of Kevin Magnussen. Obviously Ricciardo and Verstappen both crashed. We've closed the gap a little bit to Red Bull, but obviously Red Bull, they're not going to have races, not too many races in the races left where they're going to have both cars crash or finish outside the points. Obviously we've got 4th place pretty much tied up. Ferrari closed the gap a little bit, but they're still 85 points behind Mercedes. whereas Vettel is still about 44 points behind Lewis Hamilton here. But Vettel still has time to claw back at that gap and put in a final push towards the end of the season. Frank Williams is happy with us. We came third overall. Once again, another amazing race for us. £586,000 coming into the bank account because we ran Lance Stroll in practice. So still got money in the bank. Hopefully in 4th place we should be maybe getting quite a bit of money in at the end of the season. Formula 2, meanwhile, Alexander Albon won the F2 Grand Prix. George Russell and Nick De Vries, I was going to say they're fighting it out, but Fukuzumi and Nick De Vries are so far behind George Russell in the ART. ART comfortably winning at the moment, although the last race in F2 I think in this series is double points, so it could all be thrown into question at the end of the season. Obviously Prema in with a shout. Dams, the winner of F2 last season, currently in 4th. They turned down the option of moving to Formula 1 for some reason. But anyway, we'll just finish on the mail here. Interview with Mark Webber for Channel 4. After his win today, we were wondering if you had any thoughts. We'll just say we'd love to have him because it won't butter him up. Obviously, he's too expensive for us at the moment. Maybe once we get the car up to a pace, we could have a Sebastian Vettel, a Lewis Hamilton, a Danny Rick or someone maybe come into the team. But it depends who we actually put in that second seat, because Esteban Ocon's hopefully going to be here for the long term. But anyway, that is it for this episode. Comment, leave a like, subscribe. I'm also doing a series at the moment on Motorsport Manager 3, the mobile game, which there is 2 videos up for. Might even be 3 by the time this one comes out. But anyway, that is it for this episode. We'll be back tomorrow for the Japanese Grand Prix, so I'll see you down the road in Yokohama for the Japanese Grand Prix, and goodbye.